big magic happen in the lives of many people. So having said that, I wanted to introduce everyone knows Ravi. I want to invite him over and talk about AshRa's finances, his vision, and where he wants to see AshRa.
In the video, you heard AshRa was founded in 2020, but my charity work actually started in 2018 through my DAF fund. So over the last 2 years, I've been thinking whether I should have a public charity incorporated or go through DAF. So finally I made a decision, let me have a public charity. You know, public charity, you all know, it's not an easy task. Incorporating, it's not just incorporating, but the work involved after that. So I've been involved in running my own company over 30 years. It's a C corporation for profit. I know exactly the difference between for-profit versus non-profit. For-profit, you have a product, and product decides the value, how much it costs. And buyer, if he thinks that it's worth it, he buys it. That's it. It's very simple. Whereas when you go to non-profit, there's no product. And all it is your love and passion on both sides, seller as well as buyer. That's what it counts. You know, if someone is missing something, the lack of one of those, your charity is not going to flourish. So it's a very hard decision to make whether you want to start non-profit charity or not. So I started thinking, the simple question, fundamental question, what motivates a person to give? Very simple question, you know. So I went on Google search and looked at it. There are hundreds of papers and so many PhD theses written on just this one simple thing, what motivates people to give. And finally there are, summarized, there are 2 items. One is the concern for the benefit of self. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure some of you know. In other words, it's a warm feeling for the giver. Also referred to as impure prudence. Hold on. Altruism. So impure altruism. The second one is benefit for others, which is termed as a pure altruism. In other words, what do you get out of it by donating, or what others get out of it. So who is the winner? Based on the survey, it suggests that self-interest rather than concerns for others governs what you give. This is very interesting, you know. So I started looking from same item from commercial point of view. It was amazing to see, how much money, changes hands from the giver to taker and to the rest of the world. So whether it is impure altruism or pure altruism, doesn't matter. It's billions of dollars move hands every year. So I'm so excited to see what exactly is happening in this country with this money. Based on the IRS records, there are over 1.5 million non-profit organizations registered, out of which more than 1 million designated by us as a public charity. which means donors to these charities get full tax benefits based on individual tax returns. This is a clear basis for impure altruism in giving. What is in it for me? If I have to give you money, what's in it for me? That's very interesting. Then I saw in 2022, total donations made to charities in the US is close to $500 billion. $500 billion. Wow. And out of that, almost $320 billion came from individuals like you and me. I have this chart here. It's if you look at the chart, it's I think it's a 40-year chart. The percentage of disposable income, from a household. If you look at early part, 81 to probably for 20 years, is between 2% to 2.25%. And for last 10 years, it has gone down to 1.77%. I don't know the cause. It could be 2017 tax change, or it could be pandemic. But the bottom line is, individual giving from 80% in 91 has come down to 67% in 21. And whereas the corporate giving has increased from 8% to 19%. So what's included in corporate is not just corporations, it also includes big private foundations as well as DAF accounts. So with this trend, so what is bad about? The thing is that giving has become top heavy. Just like in our 401 plan, you talk about top heavy check, the IRS controls that. So here, individual giving has gone down, corporation giving has gone up, which includes private foundation as well as DAF. What that means, what people have done, all these rich dudes, what they have done, when they have a situation, they have millions and millions of dollars just to take credit from the tax point of view, they have donated everything. But the donation did not go to individual charities on the street. They all went to foundations or DF account, where that year they got the credit from IRS, but money really didn't spend has gone to individuals. So what that means is money really not spent. Money is sitting there, some account, in billions of dollars. The normal charities like AshRa didn't really get benefited from that. So that big amount of money sitting there is making money through investment. Only like 20% is trickle down to individual little guys like AshRa. But it's okay for many years, but if you donate something today, you really didn't get full credit for that from the people who need it. I had nothing else to do, so I spent more time digging into this. So I found, how does this affect us, Indians? So I found out there are about 1.9 million Indian-born immigrants, plus about 1.6 million Americans with Indian origins in the US. And also found out, so Indian-led households have a median annual income of about 89,000 in US, compared to US median income is about 50,000. It's about 78% more. To add more to that, the 27% of these Indian-led households earn more than 140,000 a year, putting them in the top 10% of earners in the US. As a result, it's unbelievable. The combined annual discretionary income of Indians is approximately $67 billion. So also it's noted that about $1.2 billion per year would flow from Indian diaspora to Indian causes in India. So I was curious, where do Konkanis fall into this, Indian diaspora? There's no data, so I gave up. So, with all this, I feel that AshRa is right in the middle of this whole thing. So I think we are doing pretty good, because there are more than 1 million public charities who are of our size. And they are pretty much, it's like $50,000 their annual revenue, and we are more than that. So I think AshRa is doing great. So what do we do with in terms of donor options? So we accept donation from individuals, corporations, and other non-profit charities, public or private. So AshRa's accounting portal is designed to take donations through individual payrolls, IRA accounts, DAF accounts, PayPal accounts, and either personal check or Zelle accounts. If a donor donates through employee payroll account, make sure that the employer has a matching program. If you do, so that's added benefit for AshRa. So some of the employers have a matching of 1 time or 2 times. So there is there are a couple of I would say agencies who act like a clearinghouse between the employer and the charities like AshRa. So if you register with those charities, those agencies, so you are set for receiving matching funds from those employers. So two of them are Benefity and Your Cause. So if employer through his payroll donates, let's say $1,000, so if it is 2 times matching, so there will be $3,000 total, and Benefity charges about a couple of percent or something close to it, and the rest all comes to AshRa. And it takes a couple of months, but that's okay as long as money is coming. So what AshRa does, AshRa adds that 2% back into the system, and the total money will be paid to the recipient. If the donor identifies a particular charity he wants to send, so AshRa will make sure that 100% goes into that charity. So another way of sending money is through IRA account. So if you are retired and drawing RMD, you can pay through RMD without any implication of tax. I just found out from a financial advisor that even those who are not retired, they can still give money through their AshRa account, through their IRA account, but they have to meet some IRS rules, even though they are not 70 or 72 or whatever. So other one is DAF. If any one of you have a DAF account, you can ask your brokerage to send a check to AshRa directly from that account. And the next one is a PayPal account. I know it's for convenience, people want to go through PayPal. But unfortunately, PayPal charges more than 2%, which is, I feel is a lot of money just wasted. But again, if that's the only way you can do it, please do it. My favorite thing is old timer like, write a nice old check, personal check. You know, if not, if you want to little speed up, go through Zelle. Zelle is also pretty good. So regardless how you donate, either you can tell AshRa where that money you want to send, or it can just go to AshRa general funds and AshRa takes care of it based on their annual evaluation. So at the end of the day, everything you gave goes to charity. The next slide is so annual donations made between 18 and 22. This is the finance I'm talking about. So far, we have is what this is the 6th year. So we are projecting that we'll make about 80,000 donations this year, including that donations. So we have so far donated $431.354. That's for small companies, small charities like AshRa, I think it's a pretty good number. So in terms of what we got from donors like you, it's again I'm hoping that in 2023, this year we'll get at least 80,000, we'll make 80,000. But since it just started 2020, but you can see the trend, money is going up, except last year, I don't know what happened, maybe because of pandemic or maybe because of the stock market, I don't know. So few dollars less than 2021. But the goal is to get donations from public, because that's one of the IRS requirements that for public charity, money has to come from other public rather than a few people spending that money. If the IRS comes to know that one or two families just donating money, then they worry about treating that as a public charity. They want to convert that into private foundation. So my goal is to collect as much money as possible through public so that I can reach my goal. So with that, I will let anyone have any questions.
Did you see any data on the $500 billion? How much of that actually reaches the actual people? The $500 billion that's collected, how much of that actually goes to the beneficiary?
You know, on the street level, it's supposed to be full amount, but I doubt it.
I'm sure there's a huge administrative component, right?
Yeah, that's a totally different subject. I also looked at that. You know, just forget this public charity, whatnot. Total non-profit organization in this country, annual revenue is $3.2 trillion. When I see that big number, I assume assets, everything is involved. And I also saw same article, the expenses. This is the question for CPAs, not for me. Expenses is like $2.8 trillion. So the difference between 3.2 and 2.8 is like a 400 billion, with not an accounting person. I said, well, it matches closely to 500,000. So that means all this, we have CPAs here, it's the manipulation plays a big role with the money.
CPAs don't manipulate.
So those million charity organizations are basically using the charity to fund themselves. And they are living.
we can always, think in a wrong way. But, even with the, I really have some examples, but I don't want to bring it out, especially this is a, Indian charities misusing the concept of art of giving. The whole purpose of we are doing is to make other people, who are in need of money, to make their life, easier, right? To educate them, but if you start thinking, how much I can make out of it, then the whole concept is gone. It doesn't just, then why do I need charity? I can just look for some, cheating somebody. That's exactly what's happening. In fact, one of my bank manager, told me that person, usually bank managers are not supposed to, what do you call that, look at other people's accounts. They should see, unless there is an issue, they're not supposed to do a surveillance on that. But that person has seen, people with in the name of charity, starting charity and buying a house, buying a car, buying a vacation home, buying everything in between. I just don't want to think that, because if I start with thinking that, I don't want to give it to charity because money is misused, then, there's always bad apples in everywhere, So forget that. Let's look at the bright side of it, That's what I think. Anyway, if there's no question, okay.
Being a part of NATA, I know a lot of people across the country, and I have got phone calls from many different people asking me the question, why AshRa, why not KCF? Are we trying to kind of, because both the organizations are supporting the same causes, why have a split rather than combined and things like that? Thank you.
Well, you brought the KCF. KCF, I was one of the co-founders. Ramesh started KCF, right? Yeah, that Ramesh. I mean, there are many youngsters here, After our 2008 summation, the last day I think, Ramesh came to all of us and said, hey, I have a new project for you. What is it? I want to start a new charity. Okay. So we went to his suite and we had a meeting. Who are we? Myself, of course Ramesh, Ashok Bhatt from Canada, and Suren Shanai from St. Louis, and maybe there was Vinay Kudwa was there, or he was supposed to join later. He was there in the meeting. So we all sat and he came up with the criteria, how to start and whatnot. I said, we are all in. Why not? And I'm one of the directors, and my job was, of course, to review the incorporation papers and whatnot, plus do due diligence on charities in India. And we ended up selecting 15 charities or something, and that was in 2009. And maybe mid-2015 around, Ramesh came out, then I came out, and Vinaya came out, and then it went to a very strong, excellent person, Gopal Bhandarkar, and he's doing great. And answer to your question, it's like if you want to open a restaurant, you can't think that there are 3 restaurants there. So mine will be failure. No. So you may have a better recipe, you may have a different menu, So at the end, all 4 restaurants will survive. So that's what I think.
Just to add to what you said, which is
all correct. I know in this country there are hundreds of churches. Why don't we have hundreds of temples? There are hundreds of charities. Why don't we have hundreds of Konkani charities? So all the power to you. We need more charities. Everybody is doing a good cause. It's a good cause that needs support from the community. Thank you. Speaking about religious thing, 500 billion, I think around 27% of that is going to religious places, churches and whatever. So
if I may ask one question, Ravi ma'am. We saw 17 charities that have received funds from AshRa. Are you planning to expand that list? And if someone here is interested in recognizing a charity and identify that as a recipient for AshRa, what do they do?
yes, definitely. If someone has another charity, so just let us know. And the way we go forward is we try to contact that charity in India and ask them to, send all their registration papers and all those things, and we make sure that they are, legitimate, and then we approve that charity. But nowadays it has become very hard because of this many charities, because of money laundering and all that. So FCRA registration, certification is extremely hard, but people are still surviving, So let us know who the charity is and we'll work with them. Yeah, well, ASRP, I have my own problems with ASRP. It's not a problem, either they are sleeping or they are not interested. So try to contact them a couple of times, but there's no response. So, we are not desperate in giving away money. So if they don't want our money, why waste our time?
Are you having regular audits, how do you do the accountability for the money that you send?
We try to ask them to send an annual report. And another way to check whether it's still doing a good job is renewal of their FCRA certification. So if they are having issues, they don't get renewed. Even though renewal is every once in 5 years. But looking at the charity, their annual report, that gives us a pretty good feeling where the money is going.
But do you have something on the ground to kind of verify?
No. So ground is nothing but when we go to India, we try to go and see them and see, how good it is. And other than that, because if you try to have somebody there, so you need to spend money. That's, I don't know whether it's worth or not, but, again I see it, there are a lot of charities, they're not really registered with the FCRA, but amazing, they need so much money. It's like a bottomless pit. Couple of items you saw there is like a Nalanda school and then other Batwal something. Every furniture they have is like 100-year-old, and when they saw us walking, it's like a light clicked on them. It's everybody's so happy, and then they saw all these computers and whatnot. It's amazing. So how, they live with such a minimal thing, and then when they see things like that, their life is brighter, So that's a good feeling, So it may be like, what is that word I said? The impure altruism, our own satisfaction, but still, other part is that the pure altruism, because we are doing it for someone else, not just for us, Any more questions? If not, okay.
Yeah, I think first of all, really have to commend the Baliga family. You made it a family business. Bob, I think you'll be joining soon as well, right?
Soon.
I think creating awareness of altruism or charity is very important. Because sometimes people get absorbed in their own life and they don't realize small, even $1 can help. But the thing that I think is important is even if you can't give money, if you can volunteer, you can help a charity organization with the website or awareness or flyers. So that is also a way of helping the charity. And then the last comment I want is, have you looked at getting your charity rated in Charity Navigator or Guidepost and things like that? Once you get the rating, it also gives you visibility with other donors that may be interested.
No, maybe we can talk later. But on the same subject, I was, surprised. This U.S. is #1 in the world when it comes to generous donations. But I also felt or saw somewhere, U.S. is #1 in generosity, but it lacks to some extent, may not be in, total, lacks in human kindness. You go other side of the world, India, it's loaded with the human kindness, but there is no generosity. So we here, coming from India, in the US, we brought human kindness with us and we have generosity added to that. So we occupied both items. So we are the people can make a difference.
Very well said, Ravi. I think if there are no questions, thank you so much.
Yeah, let me add the last part here. So obviously, we have to thank people for their, doing all the things. Let me thank first to Ramesh, not the senior Ramesh, junior Ramesh. I thank him all the time. So that's okay, I don't have to do it today. So you, Ramesh, for, helping to set up this and, doing a pretty good job in announcing and all that. Thank you very much. And obviously, my daughter Kavita for putting all things together. And the final thank you to all, of course, Abhi and AshRa. That is, I don't have to say that, it's already, it's taken for granted. But the real thank you goes to all of you for coming and listening to my crazy words and whatnot and enjoying this little event. So thank you very much.